Yeah, we're back.
Woo, we're back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Early Birds podcast, a live breakdown for everything going on with Survivor Wisconsin's latest season, Episode 7, Calm versus Chaos. I'm your host, Richie. I am joined by my co-host.
I'm Aleks.
This is Aleks Steib reporting back to duty. I missed y'all on Monday, but I'm glad to be here today. Let's get it.
All right, and today we are joined by another guest today that we will bring out right now. So please welcome Jamil.
Unfortunately, I didn't want to be here, but it is what it is.
Thanks, Jamil. Thanks for
fair enough.
Right,
If I'm here, that means I'm off the game. I'm out of the game.
Exactly. Richie saying I was spoiling the guest. I mean, come on. Who do you think we're going to have on here? Jeff Probst?
Later.
We have Kira here in the chat. Hi, Kira. We have Jamil here tonight. He was unfortunately voted off in tonight's episode. We'll get to all of that and more. The episode, your live questions, sneak peek for next episode, for next week, as long as some other fun info with that. So I think with that, we should get started with a lot of the...
Get into it. Richie, you want to go ahead and just kick right into it?
Yeah. So there was, I think, a little bit of content before the challenge where a lot of it just centers around everyone's surprised with Kayla having the idol, or at least the former Vivesse's having surprise with the idol, because I don't think a lot of them were expecting her to play it. So they're all like, oh my gosh, where do you find it? What's going on? Like, and then that's kind of it. I mean, anything you guys want to say apart from before the challenge?
I'm not liking what Ben's saying here in the chat room for the Commanders, who are playing the Green Bay Packers, God's favorite team, tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football. Go Pack, go, baby.
There you go. But besides that, I think it was more just Kayla surprised that the votes didn't land on her that round, even though like they were putting her name out there and being like, yeah, it's gonna be Kayla. But yeah, it's just more of like her being surprised that the votes didn't land on her, and then just kind of being surprised that she was kind of blindsided by that. But yeah, it was just kind of like it was more like a mutual like respect for the game, of course. Her respecting the move that they did, and then them respecting the move that that she played her idol. So yeah.
Right, and I think had the votes gone for her last episode and she pulled that idol move off, and Tony had gone home last episode, I think it would have been a lot more of a respected move. But unfortunately, because she kind of just threw her idol out there, that unfortunately didn't really do a lot. So I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, Steib, you said you had something to say.
Yeah, and I can resonate with what Kayla did pretty well, considering that I also found an idol in one of the seasons that I played, and I actually ended up using it probably 30 minutes after I found it, and it was right there at that first vote off at the merge. And yeah, I had 3 votes to my name. It wasn't the majority, but I can understand the feeling of trying to use an idol like that to try and save yourself and or maybe the 4 remaining Filemu tribe mates. But yeah, it's a hard move to pull off, especially with Vivesse having the numbers and with them keeping that information to themselves of not exactly divulging they were targeting Jake.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I really am against the move of Caleb playing it last tribal. I think I'm just more so it was unfortunately mostly ineffective in how it happened. So, Aleks, you're getting a very big laugh. Do you have something you want to share with the class, or should I give it to Jamil?
I was going to say I can't really relate to not using an idol.
You never found an idol, did you? Actually,
Corey's in the chat. He's going to rub in that you didn't get an idol.
Corey's back.
That's fine. But yeah, I was just saying, because I played my idol correctly, so I was just saying, I can't relate to that. But yeah, that's all. And plus the chat going bonkers right now as well. So thank you all for being in the chat. Always fun when we have an active chat. Yeah. So
Jamil, obviously across the last episode we saw on Monday, there was a lot of talks regarding basically about how you were very annoyed with Tony for kind of what he said to you guys in the merge episode, and then even the next episode, was that kind of still lingering after the Jake vote off, or was it what was going through your mind when Kayla was talking about before the challenge, her idol and everything? What was going through your mind?
I mean, yeah, so obviously we were hoping that the votes obviously were landing on Kalo. That's kind of where like we were thinking things were going. Of course, we got played like a fiddle. Like Yellow kept it so close to the chest of like what the vote was gonna be. Obviously, like, yeah, Tony pissed me off. Tony, like, he pissed me off so hard because, I mean, it's kind of visible in the edit when he's like sitting there and he's like, oh yeah, you can try this flip with somebody else on Yellow, but it ain't gonna be me. I'm just like, why are we here? What are we doing? And I mean, it lingered into after Jake's like boot off, but at that point, it's like we're 3 pinks against 6 yellows. So it's like, what can we really do about that? Like, there's not really a whole lot we can do. So at this point, we're just fighting for survival. Obviously, Kayla, felt hurt by, them kind of wasting her idol. But at the same time, I feel like we needed to play it to try to turn the tides a little bit. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in our favor. So it was very, very upsetting. Yeah,
it was unfortunate for y'all. And yeah, had it gone differently, if y'all were able to read Jake in the votes, that would have been quite an upturn in the story of the game.
Yeah, and we were talking about this like 10 minutes ago, or actually it was like 15-20 minutes ago, about how it definitely, like, this episode kind of reminded me a lot of my first season, where it was kind of like a giant group of people thinking that they're going to get to the end together. Everyone refuses to flip at first, and it's like, yeah, I kind of felt bad, like, throughout the episode for you, but...
Well, it's also, like, I mean, had we had more time, I mean, it's really hard. Like, unless you've played in the game, like, time moves by so quickly in these rounds, and it's like, you really don't have a lot of time to really construct, like, a very, like, good plan or thought process of, like, what are the other people that are on the other side gonna vote, kind of thing. So, right. Like, we sitting there, like, even in my confessional before Jake's boot, I'm like, why are they voting for Kayla if they think Kayla, has an advantage? Like, I even pointed that out in my confessional that was weird. I feel like had I had a little bit more information, I could have pieced together that Jake was getting the votes, just because I thought he was going to get voted over me due to the fact of the challenge performance. Because obviously, as we all saw, I dropped out maybe 3 seconds into that challenge. I wish I could say I threw it. I just sucked. But it is what it is. You can go back and replay all the moments that you could have changed. But I mean, when you're in the moment, it's so hard. It's so hard to predict what to do.
Right. No, I definitely get that. I've been kind of in the same spot where it's like, in the moment you think you know everything, and then the minute the game ends, you're like, wow, there really was a lot more that I could have did or like could have known, and just, it's a tough spot. I think we can all definitely agree with that. So, I think with that in mind, should we go to the challenge?
Yeah.
So this challenge is somewhat a tiny bit similar in some aspects to past challenges, but also with a new twist on it. So there's a story that's being told to the players, and the players at hand will kind of have to answer questions about the story. If they get it right, they can put a ball in someone else's little bin. And if you get, I believe, is it 3 or 4?
3.
Yeah, thank you, Jamel. If you get 3 balls in your bin, you're out. Last one standing wins immunity. I like these little story challenges, not just because of the topic, but more so not just because of the topic. I am an attention whore, but I'm not that big of an attention whore. But I do also really think it was very interesting that they kind of did this, because in CBS Survivor, they've done a lot of these challenges in the past, like story challenges, and they answer questions, and I definitely thought it was a very fun time. So, what did you guys think about it?
I'll let you guys go first.
All right. Yeah, I found it interesting. Like, have we done this before? I don't think so. Have we done it in the Whitewater seasons?
Touchy subjects we did. I think like
okay, well,
I think it was in Legends we did it.
But so like this new story thing is really new to us, and like it was very fun because it does show like where people stand, and I do like how, sure, it's kind of dumb at the time, but Sam putting his ball in his own cup, but just to make sure that like he doesn't really show any like lines of like betrayal between his core 6 is kind of smart, and it does make him win. But go ahead, Richie.
Sorry, I made a joke saying like I technically said that first in a live chat, because I kind of noticed that, like, and I was like, oh, okay, like he's clearly doing this, so like not show his cards, not piss anyone off. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, that's fine. But like, yeah, I do find it interesting because like during the challenge, like while like watching, like, ooh, why's he doing that? But then actually watching it back now and really like seeing it, like, okay, that's actually smart of him to do that, and like not really showing any lines being drawn, and it helped him win that challenge, and like it's smart, but like it's also like it does make you look like it does make you look like a bit of a fool doing it as well. But like, you know what? He has an idol in his pocket, and he's like right now he's really safe. So smart on him, and good for him.
Yes. This was a very interesting challenge, considering it combines aspects from 2 challenges into one. Last season in New Blood, we had a similar challenge with putting balls in somebody else's bucket as a challenge, running back and forth. That challenge was actually won by Ben, who's here in the chat. Shout out to Ben. And yeah, we combined that with the touchy subjects challenge, and I think it was a pretty fun idea, honestly. And I think the story was absolutely ridiculous. There is a debate to be had about the use of AI in modern society, and I don't think we're about to open that can of worms. But I will say it was a very entertaining story, and it was certainly hard for me to remember aspects of it, considering how ludicrous it was. But it was a very fun challenge nonetheless.
Yeah.
Fun is not the word I would use. Well, I mean, obviously being in the game, like going into that challenge, like obviously me, Kayla, and Joe are like, we're on the bottom. Obviously, like this immunity is critical. Like obviously our lives are on the line. We have to win this. I get the rules from Devin about what the challenge is and how it works. And you probably visually, if you watch the episode real closely and watch me, I'm like, all right, not winning this because I'm realizing the style of competition this is. All the yellows are just going to obviously dwindle us down, and they're going to be the last 6 remaining in the competition. So that was very not fun on our end. Like I just was crazy. It looks like I did really well in the challenge because if you could tell, like I got no questions wrong until I got out, obviously. People thought I was really smart. I have terrible memory. I remembered maybe 3 things in that story, and the first question was like about the like pretzel or whatever, and that one I knew. So I was like, oh, I know this answer. The other 2, I just like was like, okay, what is the algorithm that they're gonna use for true and false, and I'm just gonna go based on that. Took a gamble on the second one, and I'm like, okay, they're not going to flip-flop back and forth. So the third one, I put false again because I'm like, there's no way they're flipping back and forth. I'm just completely guessing on the second and third question.
I used that logic in high school, and that worked to varying success. So yes, I absolutely get that. Yeah, and when it is unfortunate, like you said, because the number disadvantage for Filemu really predicated how that challenge was going to go, like you said, and. Yeah, it's a fun, challenging concept, absolutely. But yeah, it's
and it was
would have liked to have seen a little more chaos.
Yeah, it's well. And speaking of the chaos aspect, I'm like sitting there, like obviously you can see in the challenge, me, Kayla, and Joe were the first 3 out of the competition, and like it doesn't make the edit. I think Ben was recording us. I thought maybe it would make the edit when I was watching it, but I guess it didn't. Ben, you suck, I guess. Shout out to Ben. But like I'm sitting back there and I'm like, well, hopefully when it gets down to the 6 of them, like it's gonna cause some disruption. Like who's gonna target who in the challenge, and like let's get some cracks forming. And nope, they all played like pussies. If I'm allowed to say that, sorry.
Let it rip.
And they completely pissed me off even more. Like I was like, what the hell are we doing? Like this is not Survivor. This is Big Baby at this point. Like what are we doing? Like we're just handing people wins. Like what the hell is this? Like it was so frustrating to watch on the sidelines. I was so angry.
I just got to take a moment to pause this. This has been so much fun so far on this live stream. We're having so much fun already. Thank you, everybody in the chat that's popping off in the chat right now. I'd like to shout out our reigning champion in the chat. Taylor's in the house. Hi, Taylor. Thanks for being here.
I was waiting for a way to get in. Yeah, we saw you, Taylor. We see you, Kira. We see you, Ben. We see Corey. We have a lot of great people, former players out tonight. Thank you for coming in tonight. Thank you guys for watching. We're having a lot of fun so far. We hope you guys are having fun watching us. So I was gonna say,
and add one to the job counter.
The what?
Add 1 to the Steib job counter.
You are not scared, are you? You are not scared of this.
Add 1 to the crash out Richie timer as well.
Yeah, you will.
Remember this on Saturday, okay? So
I have a concussion from you hitting that bat just now. Thank you. I felt that shit.
A live Richie counter right now.
Also, I think somebody said it in the comments earlier, Jimmy, I think. Yeah, this is the same fit I was wearing during the game, so I thought I'd represent on the recap tonight with the same exact outfit.
It was very fitting.
Showered in how long?
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to talk about with the challenge, or do we want to go to the?
We went very off track on that one, but
we just want to get to the results.
Yeah, let's get to the results.
Let's go to the results.
Okay, so the winner of the challenge, this specific challenge, was Sam. Totally didn't almost forget that. I'm blanking it for like half a second.
It was it's like SpongeBob. What's the name? What's the name?
That was my mind. No, my mind's been very slow the last 6 days. I wonder why. Anyways, yeah. So Sam won immunity. Almost lost it to Tony after he put one in his own, which granted, smart move in abstractly, I think it was a smart move. Again, trying to keep off from like pissing people off in this type of challenge, but at the same time, it's like it is a little risky when you only have like 3. But what do you guys think about Sam's win here in this specific part of the game?
I find it very, like, again, he's a very strategic guy. He kind of went to it thinking like, how can I, manage to win this thing, and like again, doing his little open himself in that moment really paid off for him as well. Sure, it came down to like the last question, but like him pulling through with that last question really, saved him as well. So props to him. Very smart guy. Really did very well in the challenge. Just kind of knew when to, put the other balls into the other people's bins and yada. But yeah, good for Sam.
Yeah. I kind of second that. I think it's a nice win for Sam here. I think it was smart to throw a couple of the first few questions just to not draw that blood on some of your Vivace tribe mates or your allies. I think it's wise to throw like that and just let other people pick each other off, and then you can kind of be the last person standing that way. And it clearly worked to his favor. I do I do think it was certainly bold that he put one of the balls into his own bucket when he very easily could have just taken somebody out. But in all honesty, when you eliminate somebody like that in that challenge, you then become like the next target in a way for whoever else is remaining. So he might not have won had he done that differently. But yeah, I was certainly shocked in the moment that he did that.
I guess my thoughts on the winner, I mean, let's cut the bullshit. Like, it didn't matter what yellow won that challenge. Like, I was still going to go home at the end of that vote. Like, it did not matter which yellow won that immunity, whether it was Jimmy, Nolan, Vincent, Tony, like, whoever won that. It wasn't changing the outcome of the round. Like, so, I will agree that I do think Sam making the play to put his ball into his own cup definitely like hides some of his, his connections or anything like that. But I mean, even we're seeing like in like the edit tonight, like some people are like wanting to like target his side with like, you see Quentin, Vincent, and Nolan, like they're kind of like plotting for their future and everything like that. And Sam's not really in their plans when it comes to that kind of thing. So I don't think it really mattered per se. Like I don't think people cared in that challenge because once again, like I said, they were all playing like a bunch of pussies. Nobody wanted to cause drama, so they're like, "Oh, let's even it out. Let's even it out, guys."
Get
like,
him, Jamel.
oh,
Get him.
brother. Oh, brother. Like,
let him cook.
Woe is me. Whatever. But it is what it is. Sam won. Congrats to Sam getting his individual win.
Anything you want to add to that, Jamil?
Me, I just added a whole bunch. What more do you want?
I don't know. I love that you're adding a lot of tea to this one. You know,
It's just like it was so that challenge. Like I was so frustrated. Like it was just so annoying. Like from start to finish. Like I just wanted. Like part of me almost wanted. It was like the recreation of the Tony conversation in the last episode, where I just wanted to just give my board back to Devin and just be like, here. Like, is there a point for me to play this? Like, hello. So you know. Obviously the games are planned ahead of time before the season's played out, so it's not like it was like rigged or anything like that. Like it was, I fully get that it was probably pre-planned, but it was just unfortunate how the numbers stacked up going into that challenge.
All right, anything else any of us want to talk about for this challenge?
Go
back to camp.
Thank you, Kira.
No, it was pretty straightforward. After all the pinks got, taken out, it's just like, okay, who of yellow's gonna win? And yeah, Sam won. Good for him.
Yeah, to add on to Devin's comment that he just posted, yeah, I'll just say yeah. That's all I'll say.
Actually, I'll have you answer this one, and then we could Actually, I didn't read the full question for this one.
What the one on the screen right now?
Yeah, I didn't even see it. I just read something on there, but we can answer this one later if you want, just so we can keep going.
Oh yeah, we'll save questions. We'll get to your guys' questions. Don't worry, I'm here.
Not
All
long.
right, so let's go to before the tribal council, but after the challenge. I think a lot of interesting things happen. Aleks, I think I'll give you the lead for this one.
Me.
Yes, you. Because
Fair
I said
enough.
So. Yeah.
Why
damn
me?
straight. Because I said so.
Fair enough. You got me.
Damn straight I did.
So, yeah, after challenge, it's just scramble time at this point. For pink, they really want to, try to stay alive and just kind of find a name within the bunch to kind of pick out and be like, hey, can we go for so I'm pretty sure their vote was still for Tony at that point because of all the other, shit that happened last time. But yeah, it's just a lot of, scrambling with pink and just, we do see a lot of, stuff about, with yellow about, next vote after this vote. So they're really looking into the future. So with yellow and being like, okay, we get after this vote, and then we go after one of each other's. Then, so it's kind of funny to see that because they all feel so safe for this first vote here, which is of course a Jamil, but they're really planning ahead and trying to see who can we turn on and take out next round. And it's kind of funny seeing that because it's they don't really care about this vote at all because they know they're all safe. But yeah, I'll get more into it later. But yeah, I'll pass it over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty formulaic after the challenge and before the tribal. It is quite reminiscent, as plenty of the cast has said. It's very reminiscent of the Pagong treatment from the very first season of the U.S. show, and
exactly.
I think Jimmy said in the confessionals last episode that it might be a little boring, or at least it may seem boring to some viewers who were certainly fans of the Pink Tribe and the Kong Tribe, Filemu.
It was so good.
It's always good to be on the right side of that because being on the other end of it is not fun. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Filemu, and maybe under different circumstances, some of them would have been in those positions of power instead.
Yeah. I mean, watching the obviously the scramble of everything, obviously I was only in parts of the conversation, so obviously I watched the episode tonight and seeing some of the conversations I wasn't in, it was crazy to me because obviously some of the yellow people like Quentin, like Nolan, like Vincent, they kept discussing with their small group of people hey, let's set up to vote out this yellow next, but let's stick to the plan here. What was frustrating to watch was people like Quentin go into their confessional and they're I really want to do something else now, but I can't. And it's like you're splitting a vote. You have all the power to completely change
Yes.
the game and just be like, no, I'm not doing the split vote. Let me just pull some of the pinks in and bang, like let me make my move now. So like that was a little frustrating. But to add to like Steib's point of like the whole pagonging, like it's crazy. Like obviously Filet Moo, we can obviously see was not a great tribe at all throughout the pre-merge of the game. We had one win, so give us that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's crazy because like I mean I told you guys before we got on to here, like I felt like, you know, the very start of the game, like I was in a very prominent position on my tribe where like I felt very confident going into votes and everything like that, whereas like heading to the merge completely dwindles. You know, I pulled off some great moves in the pre-merge. I mean, yeah, at the expense of Dan. Yeah, Dan, you suck, kid. Didn't make merge. LOL. Cry. But anyway, I just thought it was so crazy that nobody wanted to flip on the split vote, like seeing how it played out. Like I was completely shocked that they stayed that loyal to that split vote plan. It was crazy to me, knowing how fractured it was. And mind you, like from the edit, it doesn't really like the pinks. Well, at least me on pink, I had no idea how fractured these people actually were because they made it. They like were so airtight about no fractures and everything like that. And I got that vibe from Tony clearly. And it just is crazy to me that like they just did not turn on each other in that split vote. Like I could not believe it. I didn't even know they were doing it, to be fair. I mean, I voted Joe. You saw where that went.
Yeah.
So did we talk about Quentin at all throughout this whole sequence?
We mentioned him, but like not really in depth. So if you want to take that, Richie.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of talks about him trying to. I think it was him considering on potentially flipping within the next round or two, right? Because I remember there was a confessional he had where he was saying like not this round, but maybe the next one to pull in the remaining 2 Filet Moos and do that, right?
Yeah, no, he completely surprised me because I feel like he was one of the ones I didn't talk to a lot up till my boot. And he like was low-key cooking on some things. Like he was planning ahead and like really setting things into motion for the future. I wish, you know, obviously I would have been included in those because I would have totally done it. Hey, I would have been like, hey man, like I'm with you, like this, that, and the other, but we just never got that chance because like I said, once you're in those rounds, like that time goes by fast. You think you have a lot of time to talk to people. You don't. You literally do not. Like you need to make every second of that talk time count because it could be your last. Like you can see it. Fun fact, probably a TMI. Like you can see it in my confessional where I'm just rocking back and forth in tonight's confessional. I had to pee really bad. I chose not to pee. I was like, I'm not peeing at all. Like I will pee myself before I let any of my talk time go to waste. So.
Right.
Very respectable. Yes.
Absorb as much like time to talk as possible, because you only get so much time. So it's like eases my time. I think we were literally just talking about Jake with this last one too, where we were literally saying you got to use like as much time as you. No, I think it was Nick we were talking about this with. We're talking about like, as much time as possible to like use up as much time as you get to make sure that like, yeah. I thought someone would have responded to me for that, so thanks for the silence, everyone. Really sure.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're totally right.
We agree with you. Shit.
Well, that's fine. I've just been looking at chat. That's all.
Yeah.
Devin,
my eyes are like this.
Devin's clocking me. Yeah, confessionals. I always first of all, I would like to go on record to say like I wasn't raising my hand and telling production I want to go last for my confessional. Like they would just call people in every single time for some reason. I just happened to be on the back end of getting a confessional, and like I was like, that's cool. Like I don't really care because I do think it's pivotal when you get your confessional, like 100%, because depending on when you get your confessional in the talk time, things can change like that. Like you could be walking away from your confessional, and in that like 30 seconds that you're going to like talk about where you're at in the game, like somebody's throwing your name out there. You're the target. Like all of a sudden things have flipped on its head. I mean, looking back at season 7, how the hell were some of these people having like 3-minute confessionals? What the hell were you doing, people? Are you kidding me? Like, what are we doing? Like, I was trying to make it snappy.
Zach. Like, I still remember I filmed. Okay, fun fact about that. I think it was the episode 2 of New Blood. I was the one who filmed that. So for 3 minutes, I was sitting there trying to tell him, like, okay, Zach, like, I love the content you're giving me, but, like, you got to go talk to your tri-mates to keep yourself safe. And he's just, like, going on and on. I'm like, Zach,
Richie, you needed to just put your foot down and be like, wrap it up, kid. We can't be here all day.
Everyone. I didn't want to be
No, we got to be mean. We're trying to edit a show here. We don't want a 3-hour episode. Let's get to the chase.
This got a 3-hour episode just with Zach talking alone, and it actually probably would have been it would have been entertaining, actually. Zach's very entertaining. So, like, honestly,
yeah.
What up, Matty Ice? Thanks for being here.
Oh my gosh, Matty Ice. Yes, if Matt didn't know that already. Yeah, honestly, there's definitely a lot of very interesting. I think that is the word of the week this week is interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, what else do we want to talk about from before?
I do want to say when the Yellow Tribe was like us 6 talking, Jimmy was the first one to be like, hey, we're splitting the votes, and everybody agreed with it. And that's pretty crazy to think about, like how you have that much control over one tribe, and they'll just do what you say. That's pretty powerful right there. Like that's pretty insane that you can have people who you don't even know about just kind of like follow with what your plan is.
Yeah.
Like I wish I had that power.
The circle jerk, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like that's pretty powerful to be like in that position and just be like, yeah, we're splitting the votes, 3-3, and like, yeah, that's just crazy to think about. So I just want to highlight that because like Jimmy did a really good job with orchestrating that, and it followed through. Yeah. So
I do also want to say, I don't know if we already touched on Joe this episode. Joe was trying to do some pretty decent damage control with Tony about the vote, saying that like, hey, like I didn't want to vote for you last round. It's kind of like I had to stick with my 4, and like I definitely think that's a very good thing on Joe's part. Like he's definitely very well aware of how things could be coming up, how things could come off, and in general, like I definitely think it's very smart of Joe to do that, because not only does it show him kind of reciprocating Tony's open communication and honesty type of policy, but also again, he's very well aware, like the jury's the one deciding at the end, and he thinks there's a good chance that, as we see during the episode, he's preparing moves ahead down the line, knowing he wants to go 4th. So, Devin, you know I'm there. You know I'm there, Devin. You already announced me over a year ago, Devin. So sorry, I just wanted to answer this before we went on. But yeah, Devin, you know I'm in. We already know I've been in for a while, so bring me back. Sorry, Jamil, continue.
No, the tax on to like kind of what you're saying. Like, no, I seen how Joe was playing like tonight. Like, yeah, I mean it's smart. Like, you're on obviously the bottom of this pink group, like obviously. And it's like you got to do what you got to do to like stay in the game. And I think Joe was doing a lot of good positioning for himself, like knowing he's on the bottom. But still kind of putting himself in a position where he's not really getting targeted by like either side necessarily, and just kind of like playing for like, hey, as long as I mean, we heard it last episode, like where he kind of makes a Sandra quote. He's like, anyone but me kind of thing. Which, I mean, yeah, like if you're on the bottom, you're playing for survival. Like whatever you got to do, as long as it's not you. I mean, yeah, shoot, go for it. I mean, it's kind of why in the last episode, like in my voting confessional, like I'm like, okay, well, if they play me about voting Kayla, it's me or Jake. Like I don't even mention Joe's name because I just know he's not on the chopping block at that moment. So like, because I know exactly what he's doing, but I also know I need him in the game myself. Like, so it's just like, it just sucked. It just sucked.
Yeah, and I can definitely imagine that would suck for sure to have to be like in that position in general, just without a lot of options and kind of up shit's creek without a paddle.
Yeah, like it's like obviously kind of going back to the very first File move vote. Like obviously I was the person that orchestrated Joe's demise. Like I was the
Yeah.
person that got Joe out. So I was up and honest about him when he came back into the game because I feel like it was pretty obvious like who had voted for him, and I felt like some of the people that went to the outcast twist like told him like, you know, that me, Kayla, and Dan had voted for him. So I was like, I'm not gonna lie. But it was like I felt like I was forced to work with somebody that I didn't necessarily want to work with because I knew he wouldn't trust me because I voted him out once. Why wouldn't I do it again? So it's just I dealt a bad hand, man.
Yeah, that definitely sucks kind of being in that position. Especially when it's like, no matter what you do, you're always just kind of fucked in that situation. And it's just, yeah, I promise I'm listening. I'm just trying to think of like what to say.
I talk a lot. I yap.
No, you're good. I'm the same
Keep
way.
on yapping.
Spot. I feel like I should have more to say, but it's like, it's just, I definitely feel it. It's like, that's the best way I can say it. Like, I relate, and it's such a painful thing to talk about. When you're in that spot in the game where it's like, no matter what you do, you're kind of just fucked. So it's like,
well,
you know,
it frustrated us even more because like obviously the viewers don't see this, so like we had like after you know we take what is it, Dan out of the game because he sucks at the game and just can't make merge. You know, we get Joe back, obviously, and then they're like, hey, you know, we got a lunch break at that point, which no, I don't think anybody actually took like lunch. Like everybody was still strategizing and like using the lunch break to kind of like, hey, like let's keep a dialogue, blah, 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 or whatever. And some people use that time to be real snaky and shady. And Joe, I'm looking at your ass. Because Joe did some things, and like I'm like, you know, when it came to Kayla's idol, like Kayla's idol probably should be like thing of the season because like the everybody on that cast knew she had it, and like it was fucking crazy. Like it was nuts. But like I didn't eat lunch. Like I completely ditched lunch. I was like, I'm gonna starve here before I was on actual Survivor. Because I was like, I'm not going to eat nowhere. Production should have brought me some of the Culvers that they had. That would have been nice, but you know, it is what it is. But
I love you were like, I was on actual
We went to McDonald's.
Yeah, we went to McDonald's. You know, I went with my usual order: 2 McChickens and a large fry.
Wow, thanks for saying that.
Yes, Alex, thank you for that. You know, the world needs to know. You know, no, because this is gonna be the new McDonald's order. They had those celebrity meals. That will be the rich dog meal: 2 McChickens, a large fry, 2 ranches, and a high C orange.
Yeah, no, Ben put down, yeah, you and Christian were having Culvers. I wanted to fucking just go over there and snatch that shit off your table. Like, I was like, man, I wish I would have asked them to go get me food because I wanted to go get food, but I'm like, I know if I leave, like, I'm going to lose out precious time. So I was like, people were like offering me their sandwiches and stuff. I'm like, I don't know if you poison this. Like, what the hell is in this? Like, I'm not trusting anybody on this merge trial. You're crazy. You're crazy.
Jimmy packed PB&Js for everybody.
Well, it's like
Jimmy packed a lot of things.
Like, it's expecting unexpected. You shouldn't be trusting every single person, every single moment in the game. I think I've learned that the hard way in this game, you know.
Yeah, you did.
A lot of very entertaining stuff so far. Is there any other stuff regarding before Tribal Council we want to talk about before talking about
Scandal?
I'm so mad that there was an advantage next to that fire hydrant, and
oh my god,
I probably walked right by that thing, and I'm so like angry. Like I'm like I think my biggest fault, like I just did not care for looking for advantages, like point blank, period. Like I was so enraptured in the social game, like where I just was like, man, like had I just looked 3 feet to the left, I probably could have saw the goddamn thing, but whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, hey, there is a hidden advantage at the merge. Who would have thought?
What does it do? We know, but you don't know.
That's the thing though. Like I'm such an avid, like I know how Survivor plays out. Like I know there's an advantage at the merge. Like I know this. Like I've watched so many seasons of Survivor where like I know there's an advantage at the merge, but I took no time at all to go look for it at all because once again, it's fast paced. I think each talk time we probably had like after a challenge, like we probably had like, I don't know, it felt like 5 minutes, but it was probably like 10 to 15.
Yeah, but like it does feel really fast. Even even while filming, it feels like so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
It was just ridiculous. Like you lose track of time out there 100%. Like all your perception of time is just gone when you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Right, it goes by so fast. Like there was one season I got voted off really early in, and I just, honest to God, like I thought it was like at least like super early on, and then I saw the time and it was already like at least like way afternoon, when I was like, holy shit, like I was a second boot that season. How was it already like past 1 p.m.? Like it just, all time goes out the window because you really just don't know how much time you really have. Like it's like time is a construct at that point. So do we want to get to tribal?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
So we do get to tribal council. Any interesting things we want to talk about for this specific one?
No, because Devin doesn't do any, really funny lines this time around. It's not as fun.
Well, some of the things I noticed, Yellow was trying to clout chase a lot for the quote of the episode. They were all clout chasers. So that there was, I think I ignored them completely when I was sitting there. Like I just did not care whatever Devin was asking them. I just did not care. I was like whatever. Like you guys are full of it. Like I hate you all.
Yep, been there.
I think you need it tonight.
Oh man.
One thing I will say is I feel so bad because it does cross in the edit, but like Joe whispered to me, because me and Joe were sitting next to each other. He was on the very end, and we literally, Pink did not discuss like who to vote like together at all. Like we had no talk about like what yellow are we voting. And Joe sits next to me. He's like, hey guys, he's like, we're gonna do Vincent. Let's do Vincent. Go tell Kayla, because I'm sitting next to Kayla, so I'm in the middle of them. And I was like, okay, I'll tell her. Did not tell her anything. I turned over to her and I said, let's do Joe. I said, let's do Joe. Well, no, she told me to do Joe, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, because that's what I was planning on doing anyway. Because I was like, well, if they're, during the talk time, they're like, oh, well, you need to vote a Pink, and to pledge loyalty, like obviously me and Kayla were like, okay, well, if we sacrifice Joe here, hopefully like that gives us some wiggle room in the next round, because we look good to like Jimmy, who's like, vote a Pink, blah blah blah. But man, it was an emotional tribal. I think obviously it was a tie vote, which I think was crazy, and the fact that it was me and Kayla, like we were obviously like ride or dies, like we obviously from the very beginning you can see that we're obviously like the tightest duo throughout the course of the season, and just to watch us like look at each other and like one of us are going home, oh my god, that was terrible feeling. Like you guys don't see it in the, like literally Kayla started crying. Like she literally looked over at me and she was like, like, I had so much fun playing with you, this, that, and the other. Obviously you can kind of see like we, share a hug at the end and everything like that. But it was such an emotional moment when everybody was going to revote. Terrible. I wouldn't wish that on my enemies at all. Yeah. That was terrible.
This might be like the most emotional season we've ever had, probably. A lot of tears shed already. It's not even like the first, like it's not even like merch, like the merch is still early,
Yeah, and it's like I think people don't realize, like obviously, like me and Kayla, we both voted for Joe, which obviously didn't matter at all. One of us could have just voted for the other one and completely like made it not tie. Yeah. Kayla knew, I think, about the tie vote, because I think we can see it in her voting confessional where she's like, they're telling me to vote for Jamil, but like I'm not gonna do it. Like I'm just gonna vote Joe, kind of thing. I had no idea about the split vote, so I mean, had I known about it, like would I have voted her knowing I would have been on the tie? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, damn, could I do her like that? I don't know if I could. It was hard.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
But especially because you guys basically spent the entire game together up to that point. So like I could definitely like very hard to kind of like break that tie so much a lot early on than you probably wanted to.
Can I drag Kayla for a second though? I want to drag Kayla because in the last episode, I think you guys kind of went over it in the recap with Jake. When she talks to me and she was like, we have to vote a pink, Jamil. We have to vote a pink, and I was like, girl, no, we don't. We have the idol. Oh my god, I wanted to shake her and be like, what are we doing, Kayla? What are we doing? Like, I feel like I very much was like, I had to bring her back down to earth because she was just, I don't know what she was doing, but I love my girl Kayla, but what was she doing? Are you guys just gagged at that? Like, what?
Shots fired. Damn.
Dan, I'll drag you more, but we'll wait for questions to drag you more. You're on the back end. Enjoy your time there for now.
Well, no, I know he says it for now. It's like you're on like it's like Dan's on death row, just waiting Jamil, the executioner here. Like,
yeah, I mean, I wish I was more blunt like this, like because I feel like obviously I took a very more, I guess you could say, calm approach to the game where I did a lot of things in the shadows rather than being up front. And like I could have played like a Julie and been like, I want this person out. Let's get this person out. But like, I don't know. Like, I just think both kind of plays, it makes you too big of a target because then people see you as like this big, like overarching threat, like where you're gonna get targeted for it. And I didn't want that perception on myself. Jimmy somehow clocked me and is like, he's a schemer. I'm like, bitch, I've seen you for 2 rounds. What do you mean I'm a schemer? I'm on the bottom. Scheming what, kid? But you know, I mean, Jimmy's a smart guy. Like, obviously, we see it in the episode like tonight. Like Jimmy is very, very perceptive, and he has a very good judge of character. Because, hey, I'd like to think I'm a pretty smart guy, and obviously that's kind of why I was targeted for it. But you know, deal with it. Can we talk about last round's confessional? Fuck you, Tony. Oh yeah, we can talk about it, Devin. Yeah, no, that pissed me off. I mean, I kind of already went over that Tony pissed me off with the whole like, and the way he said it too, like it made me want to punch him. Like I wanted to just deck him right there because he's the way the 4 pinks
smack some sense into that man.
And Tony are sitting there, and Kayla's like, so Tony, like I'm feeling your vibes. Like, how are you feeling? He's like, you know, it's a really great offer. He's like, but I'm gonna level. He says, I'm gonna level with you guys. Like, shut up. We don't care about your smart lingo. Anyway, I love Tony, by the way. This is Tony. I just hate game player Tony.
Thank you.
We love hating Tony. It's the running gag.
So,
yes.
Like, no, and I want people to like know very clear. Like, I separate personal from like game 100%. Like, I could hate you in the game 1000%, but love you as a person. You know, and that's what it is. But like the fact that Tony sat there and just was like, okay, well, you guys can try somebody else. Immediately, I think I was the first person to say, oh, we're doing Tony for that reason. Like I literally was the reason. Even though I'm on the bottom, I'm constructing the vote. And I just go into the confessional and I'm just like, you know, he pissed me off. And I was like, let me let it rip. Fuck you, Tony, man. Like get out of my face, man. Go home.
Can I just say, it seems like Jamil and Tony would be equivalent to last season's Ben and Natalie. I think y'all were very entertaining.
Not really, boy, just because, you know, Natalie and Ben both had like mutual hate for one another. Right now it's just one-sided because Tony has no voice right now.
Yeah.
Tony, man. Like if there was anybody who did not deserve to be on the Chaos Tribe, it was Tony. It was abso-fucking-lutely Tony.
Tony. Also, Ben, if you suggest that to Devin, I swear to God. I saw something in the chat Ben said.
We can.
Tony, yeah, Tony is. I will say this. Tony's a nice guy. I'm gonna say.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Yeah. I like the outfit he had for the season. I keep forgetting to ask him where he got it from, but like that move, it's just like. It pisses me
It
off.
wasn't smart. And yeah, I wasn't here last. I wasn't here last.
Yeah, he's
Hang on. I wasn't here on Monday because I was watching some wrestling in Milwaukee at the Pfizer Forum. But I did watch episode 6 like really late after I got home. And yeah, I personally agree with a lot of what y'all are saying. I don't think how Tony came across helped him in any form or fashion, and it only made enemies that much more in Filemu. And yeah, there were definitely ways to convene that message better, and he didn't exactly do that. And yeah, no, it was very awkward to watch.
Yeah. Well, it's like I think it baffled me too, because it's like I feel like everybody who plays Survivor, even on the real show, it's like even if you don't intend to do that, like lie through your teeth, like lie through your goddamn teeth and just run with it and be like, all right, yeah, I'll consider it, like whatever. Like it's just like when it was flat out just said like, no, not gonna happen, buddy. You're cooked. I'm like, okay, well, like, and I think it's like, okay, well, now these people, like this group of people collectively, like they know you're never gonna work with them, period. Like at least if you lie, they at least have that perception, like, oh, there's a chance, you know. So it's awkward. It's very awkward. I agree with Richie. I think it's just like questionable, like very questionable. But I mean, what do you do?
Yeah. It's like there's not much you can really do if he's going to be that stubborn into like not seeing the obvious, which I think I've said this before. At this current point in time, before the merge, like Tony was basically on the bottom of Vivesse alongside Quentin. Quentin's planning some moves to try to get himself ahead, but like, is Tony? Tony wants to stick with them. Okay, Tony, like, let's see how it works out for you, buddy. Like, I mean, I do get not wanting the rock the boat rat merge, because if you do that, then, I mean, my personal experience, like, if you try to rock the boat too fast and merge, you become the target. So I do understand the first one, but then after that second one, it's like...
Yeah. I think it would have been very interesting, like seeing just the first 2 episodes of the merge. Like, I would have loved to see another yellow pre-merge tribal, like to see how that would have played out. You know what I mean? Like that would have been like seeing how fractured it is in the edit in the last 2 episodes. I'm like, it would have been so entertaining to see. Like I would have loved to catch another. But, you know, Pink sucked. I blame Dan heavily because he was, you know, we kept him all the way to the last pre-merge vote. And, like, maybe that was the problem. Maybe he needed to go. Like, Linda should have stayed. And I will stand on business. We should have just taken.
You should have kept Joe.
Right,
you never should have left. You never should have kicked Joe out.
No. Joe was fine to go out. Like, we should have kicked out Dan sooner. I think him being tall is really, we were like, this guy's strong. This guy's going to kick ass. We saw how Ultimate Frisbee went. He did nothing at all. Anyway, my rant over.
Anyway, well, let's go back to the vote. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we should probably get to...
Yeah, get to the vote. Yeah,
let's get to the vote.
Yeah, I need a second. I need to like.
Oh man, let's just
This is great. I've barely been talking for like the last 20 minutes. This is great.
Yeah, am I talking
I'm just
too
smiling
much,
and
guys?
nodding.
Am I taking over the show too much?
No,
We love this.
I love it.
All
right,
right, talk all you want. This is.
I just got to say though, I saw Devin commented about some sort of chat with the whole cast, and I just like to say the 3 of us would love to be in there, and we would love to know the details.
No, you wouldn't.
Well, no, because we see the product that's on YouTube, and we see the emotions starting to flare up, and we'd love to see some of that.
No, that you guys wouldn't. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to be in there. It is. I mean, obviously, I can't speak for prior seasons because obviously I'm not in any of the prior seasons chats, but
Neither are we.
I would like to say we're probably like up there for like most like active. Like we are very active in there. I mean, Devin sees it all. But I'm not gonna say too much more because obviously, like, you know, there is spoilery content in there, so obviously I won't say any more than that. But
yeah.
Okay, so I'll quickly get this out of the way. Vote reveal: 9-person vote out of the game. Second juror, Jamil. Unfortunately, there was a vote turned on to a tie. Then there was a revote. You got taken on the revote. We already talked to it was against Kayla. I mean, pretty wild stuff. Kind of like what I know
Yeah.
you kind of talked. I was going to ask you about how you felt about it, but you kind of already kind of confirmed a lot of your thoughts already with the tie at this point and how you were kind of thinking of. Anything else you want to like add on to it before we move on to the next thing, or like?
It's. I mean, it's like I said. I think it was more of like. I think I don't remember what kind of pep talk it was, but I think me and Kayla were giving each other a pep talk for like whoever stayed in the game. Because even at that point at the tie vote, I didn't know that I was necessarily the target. I thought maybe there was a chance, like, you know, they were worried Kayla could find another idol or whatever, and like, let's get her out now because she's scrappy. So I had no idea like where that tie vote was going, but you know, obviously it went in my way. But we gave each other like a little pep talk. You know? I was like, you, if I'm not here, you can do this. Like, you know, move forward without me. Hopefully, you know, they don't keep picking off the pinks. But I mean, that's all it was. It was a sad moment. Very, very one of probably top 10 most emotional vote offs in the series, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah. So obviously, Jamil, the three of us do have some questions for you. I'll just go off and say mine first. So obviously, you're out of the game at this point. Almost everything's aired out. Not the entire thing. There's still some more episodes to go. So from what you saw up to this point, without spoiling anything that happens later on, like, is there something that you wish you would have done differently that you think could have helped you get a little bit further in any way whatsoever, like without spoiling anything that comes up?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I wish File Moo just did not suck at challenges. Like, I wish, like, obviously that's something like I wish we would have done better at, because I mean, as you kind of saw in those pre-merge episodes, like, I had to vote off two people that I wanted to work with. Nick and Dan were both like people that I truly did want to work with in the game, and just I was cutting my numbers and going into merge. I think maybe my biggest thing was like not being more aggressive about like a vote like to the yellows, because like seeing what I've seen now in the edit, like obviously if I was more aggressive to the right people about like certain people on the yellow like to vote, I might have caught some traction with like getting a flip to happen or anything like that. But I think everybody was playing very close to the chest with their teams and nobody was really relaying information. And then the only other thing I would say is like, I wish I would have went harder for like advantages and looked a lot harder at the merge, knowing I was at a tribe disadvantage going into the merge. But once again, once you're in that game, man, it's like you go in thinking like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be the big dog, I'm gonna have all the advantages in the game, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. And it's completely different when you're out there. Like, you can't predict how you're gonna play until you're there. So I know that was the big
100%.
ramble.
No, I don't know if you saw me reacting, because that was literally me last week. Like, I had the exact same mindset and just I fell so hard. So like 100%, I 1000% agree with you on that. So, you know, yeah. Alex, you're up.
Yeah. So I asked Jake the same question last time, but say you used the idol correctly in that first vote off, and you take out Tony. Who would you try to pull in to get to that flip vote to tie it, or even like get two people to flip and take over a yellow? Because you would think they would probably be scrambling a bit to try to stay strong with one side or another. So who would you try to like flip to your side?
I mean, for me, like in the moment of the game, like, yeah, if we get that idol play off and obviously Tony does go home, which that would have been hilarious. I mean, for me personally, I would have been trying with Vincent. It didn't really make the edit. I don't know if necessarily a lot of our talks got recorded, but Vincent was yellow that I was the closest to going into the merge. I mean, during the lunch break and everything like that, me and him had talked a lot like going into the merge. So I felt very good about Vincent's vibes and everything like that. So he was probably the yellow that I was like kind of the closest with. So had we got that off, I mean, I would have probably tried to talk with him a lot more if it's a 5-4 and we just need one more to flip. And obviously seeing how the last two episodes in his edit, like how hungry he was to do that flip, like it probably would have worked. But of course, the idol play, you just can never know with those things.
Yeah. Plus, I just saw in the chat that Jimmy probably would have also flipped.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I
Which
mean,
kind
and
of makes sense as
we can see that in the edit too. Like Jimmy, Vincent,
Yeah.
and Quentin, like all three of them in the last 2 episodes are like,
Yeah.
I wanna flip. I gotta make sure it's the right time. Like all three of them are very like hungry to like not make it a boring season. Like they want to make a staple. They want to make a move in this game, and it's very like apparent. But like when you have, you know, and I understand at 10 when it's 6 yellow and 4 pink, like it's hard to make a flip because it's not one person you need 2 people
Yeah.
to flip at 10. So I knew it wasn't like likely that was going to happen at 10. And you know, if it's a 5-4 split at 9, like it's so much more viable as an option. And obviously like there's no plan to like do a split vote by the yellows because they can't at that point. Even if they go, you know, 5, if Tony goes home on the idle play, even with Nolan's double vote, it's still 6-4. Like, so they can't split the vote even at that point. So it's, you know,
Yeah.
you think about what could be done, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
can do math.
I actually was. I don't know if you guys saw me. I was trying to do the math for a
Yeah, I
second.
saw
For, you
that.
know, Steib, you ask your question first. I'll try to do the math.
All right, cool. Yeah, as you said, Jamil, you got to play with the cards you're dealt, and considering Filemu wasn't winning many challenges pre-merge, that that didn't exactly help your case with keeping the numbers, and then
Or fucking filming as well. You know, we had to film every single time. You know, it's like, oh, here we go again.
thank you. But no,
I had fun of my tribe pre-merge.
Yeah.
No. As I was saying, I think you were in a good position with the Filemu core there, with people like Kayla, and I don't know, like at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff does get taken out of your control, and you just can't seem to win challenges in the tribe that you're on. So my question is about a hypothetical tribe that you could have been on. As we found out earlier in the season, we had 4 placement switch ups with the Calm versus the Chaos cast. My question would be, if things were differently, and if Joey and Tony were on the Filemu tribe in the place of yourself and Kayla going over to the Chaos tribe at the start, who would you possibly want to work with from that original new modified Vivese? And who do you think could help you get to the game and win the whole thing?
I mean, I think, you know, with how obviously, you know, earlier conversations in the season play out, like we obviously know going into the season that Kayla and Jimmy have a connection going into the game. So obviously if the tribes would have not switched the way they were, I probably would have obviously still been with Kayla, like, because I think it's just our energy, like we gravitated to each other very easily. And obviously by extension, obviously I would have Jimmy as well. So like we would be, you know, the tight 3. That would be like on that tribe. So that's kind of where I think it would have stemmed originally. Is it probably would have been me, Kayla, and Jimmy on VVC, like running things for sure. I mean, obviously there's no way to know exactly how that plays out, because I mean, as we saw, like, you know, Joey was the very first boot of their tribe. So Joey's not there anymore. Like, who is that first boot? But then we also have to consider, like, the girls killed it for the knots in the very first challenge. So we would have had Kayla on our knots instead. So like, there's a lot of variables that could change there. Like I mean, just a minor tweak like that changes the entire game 100%. But that's probably where my core alliance would have stuck, would have been Kayla and Jimmy.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's a powerful trio. Absolutely. Yeah. That's good.
I definitely agree with that. That would have been very interesting to see you and Kayla early on the Chaos Tribe. So, all right. So I think we should move on to player of the episode. I think I went first last time. So, Aleks, I'm going to pass off to you this time for you to go first.
Which Aleks? Just kidding. Well, no, I didn't. No, okay, never mind. So my player of the episode was stuck between two people. It was stuck between I think Jimmy and I think Nolan. But I'm gonna have to say Jimmy just because he orchestrated the split vote. What? Am I good?
Now
Oh,
you're good. Yeah, I was
Yep,
trying to
I can hear you.
subtly. You were almost out on my end. I was trying to like subtly hint at you for us.
Oh,
Yeah. So my vote would for sure be for Jimmy, just because he orchestrated that split vote to make it a tie, and then following that, getting Jamil out with the revote. So Jimmy would be my player.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce off of you, Aleks. Same person, same thing for Jimmy. So
should I go next then?
no, there was
All right.
this man go next.
John Cena? No. I've got to say, it's pretty funny that I get to hand out my player of episode 7 to the same person that I would have handed player of episode 6. This person was from that majority Vivese, and they did orchestrate the maneuvers to get Jake out of the game, to flush Kayla's idol, and to split the votes with Jamil and Kayla the next round to get Jamil out. My player is also going to be Jimmy. Thank you.
Jamil?
I'd love to give it to myself, but definitely can't. I mean, hey, that's why I'm here tonight. That's if you really think about player of the episode, like who's on the podcast tonight. Think about that. But if I had to be real, as much as I hate to give it to that slimy snake rat motherfucker, it's gonna be Jimmy. Like I think, like, going more on top of it, like obviously he orchestrated the split vote idea. He basically strong-armed that it was going to be me going out because he wanted Kayla to stay in the game, who he still perceived as a very close ally to him. And not only that, he also I don't think it makes the edit in the, and I think it's because of the, like Devin made mention that like some of the conversations got screwed because of the wind or whatever. But there is a conversation. I don't know if it was on the episode tonight, but Jimmy literally tells me, and he's like, hey guys, like if you guys vote one of your own or whatever that like this round, like I'm gonna be willing to flip on the next vote. And I took that at face value. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna vote out of pink here, aka Joe. Sorry, Joe. And like I'm gonna run it with Jimmy. Like I'm gonna run it. I'm taking his word. So I think Jimmy set up all his shields where like nobody was gonna come for him. No matter how that vote played out, somebody flips, somebody does this, somebody does that. Jimmy was taking no backlash of any of whatever would happen at the vote. He was set up so beautifully that it's a masterclass. It's a masterclass. And you know, it sounds like I'm glazing him, which sucks because I don't want to glaze the man that fucking targeted me. But I gotta give props where props are due, man. You definitely deserve it tonight.
Great. That is a full sweep for Jimmy.
Hell yeah. Congratulations, Father James. Hell yeah.
Congratulations.
Bring out the brooms.
I was trying to take my hat off for this.
Bring out the brooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's get to.
I know there's a lot of questions.
Live viewer questions. There was one that Devin actually asked like 20 minutes ago, so I'm gonna find that because he's been waiting a long time, and I felt bad that
he can wait. I'm letting out all the anger I wasn't doing in the season.
But because then at the reunion, that's gonna be a bloodbath for sure.
The reunion is gonna be a great one. Everybody, definitely, if you are watching the season, definitely stay tuned for the reunion. It's gonna be a great one.
Okay.
Oh hell yes, it will be.
I don't remember where it is. I remember the question. I don't remember where it was, but Devin was kind of asking about what made you want to get onto the season and like join in on the season. If I recall correctly, I think that was what the question was.
Oh yeah. Great question, Devin. Great question. I mean, obviously, I've been a very huge like person that has watched reality TV for years. I've probably the last decade of my life has been like watching Big Brother, Survivor, The Challenge, The Amazing Race, like all of it. Like I am a very big reality TV fanatic. And even like I've played like if you guys look up like Minecraft survivors and stuff like that, like I've played a lot of online versions that are all on YouTube, by the way, that are like 8 years old. So I definitely am like 17. I'm 25 now. So like, obviously I'm very much older. But strategy, the game, like it just always has intrigued me. And, you know, I've never done like a live reality version of it. And just because like most of the ones that I've heard of or seen, like they were like out in like different states. And like, I never wanted to commit to like flying out somewhere. Some people did this season. Props to them, because it wasn't going to be me.
Oh, yeah.
And it was in my algorithm, and it was like, you know, like Survivor Wisconsin season 7. I don't know how it got in there, but obviously I like watched a lot of like clips from Survivor and Big Brother. So, you know, got in there, and, you know, it just so happened that the finale for season 7 had like just aired like a couple days prior. And I dropped a comment in the episode, and I said, hey, like, how do I get involved with this? And then Devin, of course, responded like, check out the Instagram page and this, that, and the other. And, you know, the rest is history. And I had such a blast. I'm very glad that Devin decided to choose me for the season. I had so much fun. Like it was definitely a dream come true as somebody who's a big reality fan. So I felt like I was like on the show. Like it was cool. It was so cool. It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you came on. We're glad you came on, Jamel.
We love to hear that, and we'd love to having you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hoping you get to come back sometime soon, hopefully, you know. We got
who knows, man. I would love to play again. Like this, like shoot, you know, I would love to play again in the future. Like, obviously, if the phone rings, like, and Jeff Probst is on the other line, is like, hey man, like, you wanna another shot at it? Like, dude, I'm dropping everything. I'm going out to the island, baby. I'm going out.
Love to hear that. Love the attitude. Let's go. We got another question for Jamil from Dan. How dare you?
I mean, Dan, you were ugly. Like, well, I had to keep the pretty people in the game. Okay, like it was all about pretty people, and you just weren't pretty enough. No, but
that's false. Get some love in the chat for Dan Kitty. Oh yeah, we love Dan.
No,
he's beautiful.
But I mean, for people that it didn't really, I mean, obviously, I think I said it in. I'm assuming Dan means like, why did I vote him out? But I mean, it just came down to like, I knew Dan and Kayla they felt like a tighter pair to me, just because of the fact that like Dan was with her when she found her idol on the initial like first 5 minutes of the game. And I'm like, that like bonds you like completely, especially when you're keeping that secret together. That is 100% like a threat in my eyes. And I'm like, I'm not going to be a third wheel. Fuck that. So obviously I formed my bond with Jake, and Jake was vibing with me, man. He was vibing hella. So when push came to shove, you know, unlike Veve say these last 2 episodes, you know, I decided, let's not make the pre-merge boring. Let's shake it up. Let's shake it up for the viewers, and like, get this man out of here. Pack your bags. Go home, kid. You're done.
Okay, so I actually have another question off of what you just said. Do you think that when Jake went, your game went out the door too?
I mean, kind of yes and no, because obviously Jake was somebody that obviously was in my corner, like he was gonna work for me. Looking at last week's episode, it doesn't look like he was trying as much as to be part of the alliance as I was. But I mean, it hurt because once again, he was a number that was on my side that I felt was never gonna vote against me and always vote with me. So it just hurts because it's like now you're grasping at straws here. Like you're just like kind of. I think I said it a few times throughout the last 2 episodes. We're at mercy. We are completely at mercy of where people are gonna vote. Like I'm not in the power seat I was in the pre-merge. Like I am not in the driver's seat whatsoever. And I think that really shook me up because the pre-merge I think lasted for like what? It was like 5 or 6 hours. The pre-merge was, I think, like, cause we got to the merge at like 3 p.m. ish. And for the first like 5-6 hours of the game, I felt in control. And then all of a sudden I'm like, not in control. It sucked. I wanted to cry every moment, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Richie, I love seeing the visual counting in your head.
I was a communications major, not a math major, so I like to make.
There it is. Where's the tick for the? Oh,
Aleks?
I went to college.
Alex?
Yep.
I swear
Community
to God. What am I
communications
thinking,
major.
SpongeBob? Yes, I went to college. Another question asked about 6 minutes ago from Dan. Why are you the way you are, Jamil?
Okay.
We're getting deep.
Well, Dan, if you're just trying to say why am I better than you, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. I'm more social, more like I have better aura. Like I don't know what you want from me. Like I'm sorry that your game just wasn't as good. I mean, we can just admit you're a loser. Like let's if you want me to keep dragging you, I'll keep dragging you. Like I don't give a fuck.
Oh
Like,
man, it's amazing.
but we saw how the game played out, Dan. Were you in control of your fate? I mean, I guess we saw how it ended for me, but that's besides the point. I made it to merge, you didn't. Ha ha. Anyway.
All is
right,
fair.
all right.
Dan was on the podcast, and now
Next
Jamil is.
Yeah, guess what?
Okay.
Dan had to share his time on the podcast. This whole episode's for me. For moi.
And we had to
Sorry
wait
that
50
you weren't
minutes before we
interesting
let
enough
him
to
on.
get your own podcast episode, Dan. Sorry. No, anyway, love Dan.
Okay.
Oh,
Much love to Dan. There's a question from Joe. Jamil, if you play again, what would you change about your strategy going into the game?
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, I feel like I touched on it a little earlier. I think I would have been more aggressive. I think I tried to conserve way too much at the merge rather than like I'm on the bottom already. Like I may as well go fucking balls to the wall. Like I should have stood up at tribal and been like, live tribal, hello, let's start talking. Like I let's go. Cause I just always think that's such a bad move to do because it just paints a light on you that like and sometimes, don't get me wrong, it can work to perfection for somebody. Like, but it's one of those moves that it's a make or break. Like, and it's like I kind of played way too safe when it came to doing things like way too chaotically. You know, maybe it's because I was on the calm tribe. Like I was just too calm. I was just way too calm. I was feeling the pink vibes. I was like, you know, we're cool, whatever. But I wish I would have played more aggressive, for sure. Like I wish I would have played more loud and proud.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the next question. Oh, here we go. A question from Devin. Jamil, do you think a swap would have benefited your game looking at it now the way Pink was so outnumbered at the merge?
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. Like I think a swap. I mean, obviously, like there's no way to know 100% because sometimes I could have been swapped with like 5 yellows or 4 yellows, and now I'm tribe swap screwed. Like it really is kind of hard to exactly like. Obviously, looking at how the game played out, like yeah, I would have loved to swap, but who knows? That swap could have like I could have been out in episode 4 or episode 5. You know what I mean? Like I got as far as I did because of no tribe swap. But at the end of the day, like you gotta have some risks to get to the end of the game. Like I feel like a tribe swap would have definitely been beneficial, especially like considering like I didn't want to vote Nick and Dan out of the game. I was in a position where I was forced to vote out 2 people that I 100% wanted to be allied with, but everybody on my tribe was my ally. Like there's nothing I can do about that. I'm forced to just pick off one of my numbers. And so I think, yeah, a tribe swap would have been amazing, but I also do recognize the fact that it could have also completely screwed me as well. So.
All right, so there's a couple of funny comments from Dan I figure I'd put up here in the chat before then we get the next question on. Jake vibed with you so much he threw you under the bus immediately. Good move. Then followed up by, it's all good. It was a game-winning move here, clearly. Followed by, and we all regret the decision to let you go solo. And then he says, bring Nick on.
I'm sure Devin might be secretly regretting this.
just to touch on the Jake comment he did make, immediately throwing under the bus. I don't blame him. I think 100% like it was a smart move. Honestly, like I probably should have done a little bit more of that. I think why I didn't do it at Final 10 is the fact that I knew we had an idol. So I knew we had a chance to turn the tides as a 4. Like I knew we didn't need to have a majority vote. We just needed the idol play to be correct. And so for that reason, like I didn't feel the need to throw my pinks under the bus. Like for what reason? Because I'm like, we still have a power play like we have right now. Like this is our chance to still turn the game upside its head, and everything like that. And I mean, that's why that argument with Kayla, like I'm like, girl, like we cannot vote a pink. Like she was like, let's vote a pink, let's vote a pink. And I said, girl, like you have the idol. Like, what are we doing? Like, if we just take out a pink at 10 just for no reason, like we're just basically handing the silver platter to the yellows, like, hey, pick me next, I want to get voted out. Like, no, like the goal of the game is play for power. What are we doing, Kayla, girl? But you know, yeah.
All right, so we do have the next question from Devin. Jamil, why didn't any pinks say yellow name this round, really? You guys seemed a bit scared. I guess Joe and Kayla felt good with some yellow for the future, maybe more than you, ?
I think it was more so just kind of trying to preserve. Like, I think we all kind of recognized, at least I recognize. I can't obviously speak for Joe and Kayla in this matter, but obviously we were 6-3. Like the math is obviously like there's a split vote that can happen. So my only play here is like I can't really go for a majority if they decide to do a split because I have no advantage or anything like that. I think it was more of trying to like kind of make a deal. And like I said, I don't think it made the conversation with Jimmy, but he basically said like, I'll be willing to flip, but it's not going to be this round. It'll be next round. So I was like, the reason he's telling me this, like, I'm like, okay, like this is him at least being vulnerable with me and being like, hey, like there's that olive branch. It's just not right now. So I'm thinking, okay, well, if we take out a pink here, you know, it's gonna buy me into that quote unquote flip for the next round. And that's ultimately why me and Kayla voted for Joe, because we thought like maybe if they're splitting on Joe, our votes are gonna, you know, put him over the edge to go home, and then me and Kayla can kind of make inroads with Jimmy following the next round. But Jimmy's a slimy rat, as we all saw.
All right, so we have another couple things from Dan. First comment, he says, you never had to vote us out. That was completely your decision, LMAO, followed by what he calls an actual real question. Why did you think Kayla playing the idol on herself was a correct idol move?
So this kind of ties back into, once again, like the lunch hour we had. So there was a lot of different conversations that were not filmed during this time. And I had overheard a conversation, and I don't like it, like the yellows were kind of talking, and I was just kind of like standing off to the side and like not with them, and I was just overhearing the conversation. And at one point, like I hear Kayla's name get brought up because they were talking about her because she was like saying, who are the strong guys on your guys' team and blah, blah, blah. So I had thought like trickling into the actual merge first round, I'm like, okay, well, this seems legit that they're going to push for Kayla because of like what happened in the lunch hour. And like I said, had I thought about it a little bit more, because even in my confessional, I'm like, they're voting for Kayla even though they think she has something. That's weird. And I feel like if I had more time to talk with like Joe privately and some like individuals, I could have pieced together that they were trying to, you know, divert attention to Kayla to play it on herself. And like I said, in my voting confessional, I'm like, if it's not Kayla, if they're lying to me, it's because obviously I didn't think they were going to vote for Joe, and I would have thought they would have done Jake just solely on the fact that he did super well in the challenge. So I wish there was just maybe like 10 more minutes in that round, and I could hopefully convince Kayla to play the idol on Jake. But
yeah,
there's a lot of things you replay in your head after the game, and it's, you know, it is what it is.
All right, so we got two things from Nick. There was in two different parts. First part says, OMG, who knew Jamil had a great Mickey Mouse impression? Do it again. And then followed by a question later saying, can you make fun of Dan in your Mickey Mouse voice?
Well, So I would do it for somebody who actually like played a good game, but I'll just leave it at that. We'll move
Reunion's gonna
on.
be fucking fired up. Holy shit!
Maybe we should have had
Sorry.
Nick on.
Oh my gosh, Nick.
Oh man.
Nick, you better hit me up tonight. All right, so another comment from Dan saying the strategizing in that round was longer than all of our strategies and pre-merges combined. How much more time could you need, LMAO?
Okay, so also this is very like for people who haven't been on the show yet, or maybe like this is your first time, whatever it may be. It is very, and Dan, you should fucking know this. Stop playing stupid. You're so dumb. Anyway, like obviously it's an edited show, people. Like it is an edited show, so multiple conversations that come on our screen are taking place at the exact same time another conversation is happening. Like you can literally see some shots of people talking of a previous shot. Like it's an edited show where like all these people's conversations that are happening at once are just being put one in front of the next, in front of the next, in front of the next, in front of the next. Like, so obviously it's an hour episode, but really it's like a 15-minute round. Like it's I mean, that's how any show is edited, like 100%. Like it's so the round was not as long. And Dan, you should know this because we went to how many tribals before we took you out, or I guess I took you out. So you should know this better, buddy. But yeah, no, it's not that much time.
All right, Nick says, "Oh my OMG, put me on now." If we weren't close to the end of it, I would probably say yes. If we weren't so close to the end of it, I would probably 100% actually say yes and try to get you on. But maybe we can get you back on in the future. Nick. I'm hoping to get you back on in the future.
No episode. Come on.
No. Have we even talked about?
Dan says, "I wish it could be as smart as Jamil thought."
Yeah, you're so stupid. I hope you choke.
The beef. We love the beef in the chat. Hell yes. Have we even talked about the cliffhanger?
Yeah, actually, I did forget to mention that. So I think we can. There's one more question, then we will talk about it. After playing and seeing these episodes play out, Jamil, what are some things you were different? What are some things you wish were different for your game? I love getting feedback to always improve. And while Jamil answers this, get your last questions in now, and then we'll go into some other stuff for next week and some future episodes.
What are some things you wish were different for our game? I think everybody, they starved us. They literally gave us no food. These people were literally treating us like animals, first of all. So
you had water.
Water, okay. Anyway,
I mean, you technically had water.
By the way, they gave us water. It was like 100 degrees out, and there was like 24 water bottles. Those things were gone after round 2 of the game. All right, they were gone. No. In all seriousness, though, they treated us very well. They treated us very well. So it's all joke. I think from like a perspective of, I don't know, like I guess I would say like, man. Well, first of all, I wish I was on a stronger tribe. That first and foremost, I feel like, it was definitely some balancing. There was definitely some balancing that needed to be done there. But it is what it is. I wish the Chaos Calm wheel would have played into the merge, since that was kind of like the theme. Like, I would have loved to see how you guys would have implemented that going into the merge, because I feel like I loved it as like a pre-merge concept. But I would have loved to see, like, I don't know. I don't know how that would have worked, or like what kind of twists or chaos or whatever you kind of would have done with that. But even like, doing another like immediate, like you spin it at merge and it's like chaos. Like what if the first round of merge, we spun a wheel after that immediate challenge and it's chaos, and it's just like, you're going straight to tribal. Like that tribal becomes a live tribal real fucking quick. So I wish that element would have stayed like that would have came in a little bit more. And then like I'm just trying to think. Yeah. Like I mean, I don't know. I think there needed to be more obstacles around the park that needed to just be like there just to be there. Like, I don't know, like barrels or like some, because the open area really was killer for like looking for advantages, because like people could literally see everything you were doing, who you were talking to. Like there was no privacy out on that park. Like it was like you were in your pavilioned area. There was like the little bathroom like area. But everything else was like open. So like nobody could like secretly just wander off and be like, I'm gonna go look for an advantage or like anything like that. So I think that's also why like people weren't looking for advantages early on, and it just became a group activity to go find advantages. Because nobody just felt comfortable going off on their own. So
Yeah,
but that would probably be it. It was great.
Dan had another couple things. He said the water was really appreciated, even if Jamil hogged them all.
Oh, I hogged them all. I drank like 4 water bottles after the first round of the game. It was hot. Like I mean, I think you guys had said like this was the hottest season that there has ever been. Like it was terrible at the start of the game. Like we were getting like we were out of breath. Like if you go back to those earlier episodes, we are breathing in those mics. Like you guys are hearing our hot ass breath in that mic, and like it was not pleasant.
I'll take hot over cold. I'll just say that much right now. You know.
No, I 100% agree. I think by the merge it was okay. Like by merge it cooled down a lot, so like it was maintainable like for the rest of the game for sure. But yeah, those first I mean the whole pre-merge, it was like blazing hot outside.
Yeah. All right, I'll give people about 15 seconds to get their questions in, and then we'll close off questions for tonight.
Dan, I hate you.
What?
No, because Dan says Jamil's recommendation to actually more barrels. What a moron! I don't think I elaborated. The reason for more obstacles was because I would want it to be like for hiding stuff better, like hiding like advantages and stuff like that. Because I think somebody had mentioned, and I don't know if this is true because I didn't really like look back at it. Like the rock that Kayla found her idol, apparently that was the same rock that was used last season or something. Like it, the same exact one. So I'm like, we're reusing hiding spots. What the hell is this? So I was like, you know, it would have been cool to have like more. Like I thought something would be in the sand. Like bury that shit in there. Bury it. Like you saw me in episode 1. I was digging in that sand in the volleyball court. I was looking. I was creating alliances with Dan. Sadly.
Yeah. Okay, so I have one last thing we're going to mention, and then we're going to go on to stuff for next week's episodes and a sneak peek. So Dan says, in quotes, I had so much fun playing Survivor, but they didn't even have a single barrel. I mean, WTF.
Donkey Kong ass response.
Dan,
we need more barrels.
Dan, at the end of the day, don't be mad because I got to vote for somebody at the end and you didn't. Sorry.
You're like great.
I had to say like, who wins the game. You didn't.
I am so excited for this reunion. Like,
it's gonna be the best one for sure.
It's heating up. I love it. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, if you guys like Devin said, if you guys saw the season chat. It's spicy. It's very, very spicy.
Sounds like y'all could use a moderator, a neutral voice.
Devin literally keeps telling us. I think every single day for the past couple of days, Devin's like, "You guys better have this fucking energy at the reunion, or you're done. Like, you guys are so done." Like, good. I think it'll be there. It'll still be there, 100%.
Probably, yeah.
All right. So with that in mind, we're gonna leave it off there for now, and I think we should talk about the next week's schedule and episodes. So obviously, we talked before. What we forgot to mention was that this episode ended with a double tribal council reveal, as similar to last season around this time. Jamil was the first half, and the second person voted off. You're going to find out next episode. Stay tuned at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, September 16th at 6 p.m. Central to find out who the next few people voted out of the game will be. Then stay tuned for the live breakdown and aftermath to hear what happens and even possibly see some guests sometime next week as well. Then tune in Thursday for episode 9, the penultimate episode, Thursday, September 18th at 6 p.m., followed by another live breakdown at 8:15 Central. All right, and then I think with that in mind, I think I should go into the episode 8 preview I was given for this one.
Go ahead.
Episode 8, it's in quotes, actually not in quotes. It's just the preview. You wanted more chaos. Tune in for those heads spinning as we continue on with the second half of a double tribal. And not to mention, you better hope luck is on your side when it matters most.
There we go.
That's all we're getting for now.
Ah.
There's definitely a lot of very interesting things going on within the season. As Evan mentioned earlier, it's going to be a very fun endgame for you guys to watch. I'm not going to say anything. We can't spoil it because we know what's going on, but you do not. All right, Jamil, is there any closing thoughts you have about the game in general from your end, like not without spoiling stuff that happened later on?
I mean, once again, I'd just like to say it was a great season overall. Like it was so fun. Like I really appreciated to get the invite out. I know it wasn't like a ton of people that applied for the season, but hey, I was one of 16 people to get on the game, and like I'm really grateful for the opportunity to kind of make my mark in the LRG community. So it was definitely a blast. I think I've made some friends like from the season and like that I can take outside the game. Like it's always fun to like find people with common interests and everything like that as you because a lot of people in my day-to-day like they don't like mess with like reality TV or anything like that. So it's always good to have some familiar faces to talk to, but I had a blast. I'm excited to see how the rest of the season plays out now that I'm out of the game. It's going to be fun. Like I'm going to be pretty much viewer going forward. So very excited to see how the rest of the game shakes out for sure.
All right. Thanks, Jamil. Aleks, Steib, you guys got any closing thoughts before I close everything out?
No, I think we've said all of our piece for tonight.
I guess some just general thoughts. This episode was fantastic, and this episode of the Early Bird Breakdown was also fantastic. Shout out to Jamil for being here tonight. Shout out to Jake for being here on Monday when I wasn't here. It was great having you on, and it was great watching you back on the VOD. And we still got plenty of people left, but y'all got to stay locked into the channel, locked in for Tuesday, because we only got 3 episodes left, believe it or not. So shit's about to heat up. So you better stay locked in. You better be here at 6 p.m. watching the premiere, and you better be here at 8:15 p.m. Central Standard Time to watch the next breakdown. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah.
All right. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not watched our past episodes or even the episode we just did this one on, the hell are you doing? Go watch that episode. Go watch all of our episodes.
I'm on it.
Yeah, Bill's on it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Of course. It was a blast to be on.
Somewhere outside of our filming location in Wisconsin, I've been your host, Richie. I've been joined by my co-host and my special guest tonight.
I'm Aleks.
I'm Aleks Steib. It's good to be back. We'll see you Tuesday.
And Jamil.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow our Instagram. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We will see you on Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. Central. Thanks, guys.
Adios.
See you later.